Rob.
And me, Rich. How you doing, Rob?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. And hi to all our listeners out there and watchers as well.
Yeah, you are all Adidas up tonight, mate.
Well, I'm just keeping it real,
Keeping it fly.
Yeah, just been on a 3-mile run, so I thought I'd just relax now with you.
I wondered whether your daughter had given you that one, but...
She doesn't know it, though. Yeah.
It's nice that she fits the same clothing size as you, mate.
Thanks, Rob. So how are we going then, anyway?
Yeah, we're good.
It's our third one.
3 times out.
Hat-trick.
Hat-trick time.
Yep, actually, having said that, my daughter scored a hat-trick this weekend as well.
Did she?
Yeah, she did.
She's class, isn't she? She's a great footballer.
Absolutely, just like her dad. So how are we going today then?
Right, today we wanted to talk about what we're calling the balance, okay? And
Sure.
the balance is basically balancing up life, kind of like as it sounds. It's balancing up life.
Okay, good. So we are kind of looking at different aspects of our lives and how we can control them and make sure that we are living things the best we can, the best way we can, I guess.
You don't buy a lamp and put it under a covering.
Yeah,
You don't. When you buy a lamp, you don't buy it to just cover it up and not let the light shine. The idea is that you buy a lamp to fill the room with light.
Sure.
The hidden city on the hill makes no sense.
That's right, yeah.
And the basic point of what that means is that basically we were all made to people. But we're talking about men right now.
Yeah.
So we were all made as men to, I believe, shine.
Sure.
I believe that we were made to be the best that we can possibly be.
No doubt, I agree with that totally. Yeah. Because
But
what?
Well, you go.
No, I'm just thinking, because we all want to be the best that we can be.
Yeah.
And I think, and the whole point of our podcast is really to make us, those guys, the best guys that we can be.
Totally.
Yeah. So I'm with you on that point there.
Yeah. So, but here's the problem, because I think that where I found the stumbling block in life, and when I've talked to quite a few guys, the stumbling block in life, is that we want to be the best that we can be, but then how do you balance that all up? How can I be the best father, as well as being the best husband, as well as being the best worker in my career?
Yeah.
Or being the best at whatever my hobbies may be, like
Sure.
sport or golf or like whatever else.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
how do I, or musician? But how do I do that and be the best of it all? Because like trying to make the best out of and be the best of everything is hard.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a really good question because we all want to be great at what we do.
Yeah.
But when you've got so many different aspects of our lives and being the best at all of those things at one time, it's kind of impossible, I think.
Yeah.
Or very difficult.
It's difficult. It's a challenge.
Difficult.
No
Yes,
doubt
it's
about
a
it. No doubt about it. It is a challenge.
Yeah.
I've often found, like, and I don't know whether it kind of sometimes tips into stress or it's the pressure of it or just, like sometimes just being so self-critical of it. But I want to be the best that I can be. But what I've found is that if I'm being the best that I can be in my career, then somehow I'm not being the best that I can be as a father.
Yeah.
Somehow I'm not being the best as I can be as a husband.
A husband, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say mother,
I was
but
going to
that
say
doesn't make
wife,
sense.
but
Yes. I'm not a girl.
Yeah. It's because when you put in something into one area, obviously you're going to depreciate other areas. So that's the whole balancing act of life, really, isn't it? It's we can't be top of our game in every area of our lives.
No.
So that's where the balance comes in, right?
That's where the balance comes in, and the analogy. I love analogies, by the way.
Yes, you do.
Sorry if you get tired of that, but tough. I have the microphone, you don't.
Yeah, I guess.
But the way this works, I was thinking of analogy, and there's the couple that came to mind, but the one that kind of stood out and being quite funny in my head was, remember way back in the 90s when it was like the one-man band?
Oh, yes.
Do you remember one-man bands?
Yes, I do remember one-man bands. Yes.
You explain what a one-man band is.
Well, I actually wanted to be a one-man band because I'm a bit of a drummer, but we'll get into that later.
Okay, yeah, sure.
But a one-man band would be a guy who would have like the bass drum on his back, and if he stamped his foot, that bass drum would beat.
Yeah.
He would have like a harmonica, which he'd blow into and sing at the same time. He'd maybe have some cymbals between his knees.
Yeah.
And then, maybe, I'm not sure, there was other things, I remember there was a tambourine, maybe on his head or something, which he shook. So he would play a tune and sing this tune and play all these instruments at the same time.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's the basic, like, if you have no idea what we're talking about with a one-man band, like, you can Google it, or Bing, it's just as good. And you can see good images of what this basically means, but it's basically a person as one act trying to play
5, 6
different instruments. And the reason that I bring that up as an analogy is because although they are extremely talented people, I don't want to start bad-mouthing one-man bands.
I wouldn't do that now.
It's a good music act. But there was nothing, like, it wasn't like they were particularly skilled at playing the guitar and that was it. Or it wasn't like they were particularly skilled at playing the drums and that was it. It was like they were trying to play a little piece of everything, but not being that particularly, I don't know, technically amazing at any of it.
Yeah, sure.
So it kind of creates this idea of a one-man band image, like that I've got so many different things that I'm trying to do, but I'm not particularly doing well.
One of them very well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just a mix of everything in it all together.
I get you, yeah. Because I cannot remember the phrase, but there's a phrase, it goes something like, you can be great at lots of things, but you're not a master of a particular instrument. And my dad used to say that to me quite a lot, but that's another story. Okay. But it's
funny how parents express disappointment in their child, isn't it?
But as you're saying though, so he's playing, and when this one-man band did play, it was quite mesmerising. Like, wow, this guy is actually singing this tune and is accompanied by all these instruments. Yeah. But then you think, would he be a good drummer on his own, or would he be a good guitarist on their own? And right. It's bits of lots of things.
Exactly, yeah. And so that's that's what I've generally kind of found in life, that's sometimes how I felt, and so like we do with everything, this is going to be a podcast with a little bit of structure and advice to try and help guys through that. Because I sense that we want to be the best that we can be. And what I don't mean comparison. Like, I can't compare myself to you, because that would be unfair on you.
Right, okay, I see where you go with this.
Okay, let's straighten out. I can't compare myself to you because you are you. You are taken, I am taken.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't be like you because I wasn't made like you, and you weren't made like me. No, so in that sort of sense, like, we're not talking about comparison. I'm not trying to be somebody that I'm not. I'm just trying to be the best that I can be, and that's healthy.
So when you're saying you want to be the best that you can be, you're not best compared to who you're working with. You don't want to better that other person. No. You just want to be the best that you yourself can be.
Because if we're doing that, if it becomes about comparison, then that's born out of insecurity. Okay, and I don't mean to be too critical with that, but if that's something that you're kind of experiencing, then you kind of look at where the heart of that comes from, because like, you are great by yourself. You have been made perfect. You are brilliant. You can succeed in anything that you really kind of are talented towards and put yourself to.
Absolutely.
And that's who you're meant to be. I was not meant to be you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something that we need to make sure we grasp. Yeah. Because just thinking of my daughter, she's going through GCSEs at the moment, just revising, and it's very competitive because she wants to get certain levels to get to where she wants to go to, and I'm saying to her, you just need to be the best that you can be. Yeah. And she's saying, but Dad, I need to be better than so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. And I'm saying, just do your best. I cannot ask for any more. Yeah. Yeah. So just compete against yourself, maybe, but not against anybody else. I don't think, So,
good. It's good. In getting to this, the first kind of point that I wanted to bring up, and we've talked about this before, and it's sometimes wording that we use, but I have a bit of a flow in life. Yeah. I've termed, I don't know whether that's the right term for it, but I've termed it as a flow. Okay. And that flow is basically in working out or being the best that I can be, I've got to work out what matters to me most first. Yeah. Okay, and then I kind of scale it down. So, like, it literally goes into it. So, for example, I'm a man of faith. Yeah. So, God is number one. That's he's my most important priority. Sure. Yeah. And that's fine if you don't have faith. It's not a criticism. That's fine, yours doesn't have to be your faith that you put at the top. My second one is my wife. Yes. Okay, and underneath that...
Good choice.
Yeah. Wise. Yeah. Hope you're listening to this, hon. Love you. Just under that is my kids. Mm-hmm. And you might say, well, why is your wife and your kids not on the same level? Like, you're saying you love one more than the other. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that if if my wife is there and I'm prioritizing that relationship first, then the relationship with the kids will naturally work out. Yeah. If I put the kids above my wife, then there's a bit of a problem.
There's issues going on there.
Yeah.
Big issues.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it goes along with, you've been through it, when newborn, you get a child is born, baby's born.
Yeah.
All the focus is on the child, on the baby. And mum and dad kind of get left on their own, kind of thing. And I remember when my daughter was born, 2 or 3 months down the line, people were telling me, you guys need to remember that you are a married couple. It's not all about, know, and it's so important that you do focus on that. Because like you said, if you've got a strong relationship there, then the kids see that and things tend to drop into place. So I see why you put the wife.
There's a much smoother flow to the relationship.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah. So then under my kids, then there's a number of things that it could go. Like friends could go next.
Hi, thanks, Rob. Thank you.
Bestie. And then it could be work, career. It could be a number of things. But what a flow helps you to do is work out what's your number one priority in your life and what your priorities are. And so in that way, I know, because when we talk about being the best that I can be, we were absolutely spot on in what we said at the beginning, is that it is very, very difficult to do everything to the best you can be. I don't think that is possible.
No,
and I'm quite willing to be shouted down on that. If other people have suggestions, that's absolutely fine. But I do think it's hard. There's got to be sacrifices. And you can't have work and wife at number one. No. They can't share top slot. It doesn't work like that.
No, definitely not. But just going back to your flow, I love how you've written it down.
Yes.
Because we live such busy lives and we try to rely on remembering things and things go through our minds so many times that we forget things. I'm really forgetful, and to actually write something down, it kind of focuses your mind on those things as well, naturally. So I think lots of us like visual learners and things. I'm very visual, so I need to see things to remember things better. So I think it's really good that we take that time to kind of sit down and think about this and think about what our priorities are, what's important to us, what do we want to put our time and effort into, and just write those things down. And when you see it, kind of focuses that, you focus your mind on, this is what I need to be doing. Totally.
One thing that you picked up there, and we're gonna go and sit on that just for a little bit, is this idea, like time and energy.
Yeah.
Because some people might be like, what, you're not talking money then? Like where you throw your money doesn't show your priority. No. Where you throw your time shows your priority. Now I'll give you an example why. Let's say that I gave a college student £100, right?
They'd be very happy,
and that would mean the world to them. They would be over the moon with that, I'm sure. Let's say I give the same £100 to a millionaire. Doesn't mean anything.
No,
it's not. It's just it is of no value to that person particularly.
That's true.
However, so in that sort of sense, money has no crossover value between people. What's what's a lot to some people will not be enough to other people.
Yeah.
But time, we're all given 24 hours a day. And that is an equal measure of what every single person has. Okay?
Yeah.
So in that sort of sense, what shows what I prioritize and value in life? By what I put my time into.
Sure.
The thing that gets my most time surely becomes the thing that is the most value to me.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. And so that goes back again to that listing. So what's valuable to you comes through so strong there.
Right.
And sometimes we think about things, we think certain things are valuable to us, we think things are important, but when you actually sit down and write something down and you think, wow, this is what I should be looking at, this is what I should be putting my time into, it makes it so much clearer. When I finish the podcast, when we're finished, I'm going to go and write my list.
You're going to do that. Excellent.
Guys, I think you should do the same as well. Yeah, great idea.
So, like we kind of said, this whole idea of having a flow just makes things nice and easy and simple to kind of put it down. Now, that's not to say that there aren't seasons in life where sometimes things take more of a priority than others. Yeah. You know what I mean? Again, like we've got to be fairly fluid with our flow of how it works, because sometimes
fluid with the flow. I like that. Yeah.
So, for instance, like work at some point might just require that little bit more time.
Yeah.
It might happen. Now, that's not to say that you're suddenly devaluing everything else. That just happens to be a season. But what I'm saying is the general day-to-day of what you do and the general day-to-day of what you value should be expressed in that flow.
Yeah, I like that. I've recently started a new job.
Yeah.
And I put a lot of time into that and a lot of effort. And I'm just thinking now, I might need to adjust that a little bit.
Okay.
And focus again on maybe the wife and the kids and other things that I like doing. But it's a seasonal thing, isn't it? It's sometimes when you start a new project, you want to put more effort into that. When you first get married, you put a lot of effort into that. First get a child, you put a lot of effort into that. Obviously, the effort still continue, but you kind of peaks and troughs.
Yeah.
But as long as you know, and you've got that list, and you know exactly where your time is going, I think that will enable this balance of life to become more manageable.
Yeah. It's, the move that comes to mind. You ever seen Jerry Maguire?
Yes, I have.
I mean, I've argued through the teeth with some people about what that movie is about. That movie is about a sports person trying to make it in a career.
Sure.
It's not about a love story.
Love story?
Yeah, exactly. Where is that in there? It's all about that. But that whole scene of like, show me the money.
Yes.
Yeah, right? That's the ABCs of me,
Yeah.
And that, but that's exactly what it is. In that moment, in that season, that guy's trying to look after his family the best way he can by let it rain money, show me the money.
Absolutely.
So then, so we've got this flow, so what do we do next? Like we said, and we talked about this a little bit in the previous podcast when we were talking about present fathers, which you totally check out, by the way, particularly those of you who are fathers, but even of those of you who are not, for maybe further wisdom or even just in terms of mentoring and working with young people. It's a great podcast. But being intentional with your time. Now, like I said, you can't do everything. And when you say be intentional with your time, like, it's not healthy to juggle.
No.
Okay, if you ever watch a juggler, one of our friends is a juggler, you're apparently a juggler.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Never seen that before. But imagine like that juggler's juggling 10-pin bowling pins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or skittles.
Yeah. So they're juggling the skills. Now, when you look at like that whole idea of juggling, not one thing stays in their hand for very long.
No,
it's always quickly in and quickly out the hand. And like we use this phrase in life sometimes when people ask us how I'm just juggling these things, or how's work in the family, I'm just juggling them.
Yeah.
And that's not a good way to go about it, because not one thing will stay in the hand for long. So what we have to do is we have to allow something to stay in our hands long enough to have impact on it. So how do we do that?
Well, before I go, as a juggler myself, I can
go on then.
Heart at that point even more, the point you make it even more, because...
And all the clowns in the world leaned in closer for this moment. Go on.
This is deep, but as a juggler, your focus, like you said, is not on each individual item. You don't even look at them.
Really?
You fix your eyes in the air just to make sure that everything is moving.
Right.
You don't concentrate on your hands. You don't concentrate on holding. It's just a matter of fact thing where you get in a cycle and you just keep that cycle going. So there's no focus on what's going through your hands at all, and you touch them for a few milliseconds,
right?
And you're not even looking at individual objects. So that highlights the point as well. So if we're juggling things in our lives, we're really not looking in any depth at what we're doing. We're just going through a cycle.
Right.
We're just making sure we don't drop anything. That's the most important thing, is not to drop anything.
Come on now.
So dangerous to be juggling our lives so long, because we're not looking at anything in particular.
Yeah.
Just making sure it stays up in the air.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
It almost sounds like just survival mode, doesn't it? It almost sounds like we're just trying to do everything just to keep it going.
Keep it going. That's right.
Like I said, like, how do we move beyond that? Well, here's the thing, right? When I'm at work, I'm at work.
Sure.
When I'm at home, I'm at home.
This is very deep, yes.
Yeah, it's just like everyone's like, right. So what I mean by that is that I don't confuse my relationship with my wife with my work life.
Sure.
So for instance, like, if she was to call me up at work and she wants to talk about some sort of issue in the home, we don't do that.
That's right, yeah.
You know, like any time that we've had a discussion.
Yes, I like how you put that, discussion. Yes.
You know, and it's kind of carried on.
Yeah.
You know, we don't bring that into our work day. You know, because that is again now starting to juggle. I'm trying to somehow compromise what I'm doing and fit too many things into one thing. So when I'm at work, I work. So in other words, I'm focused on work. I do my work. I'm 100% there in my work, and I'm going to get on with my work in the best way that I can.
That's right. That's good.
Now, I'm not saying that I don't receive phone calls from my wife.
You better answer them. Yeah.
This is definitely not advice to press the red button on your wife and not answer. Yeah, just don't do that.
Yeah.
But what I am saying is that if I do that bit well, but then more importantly, when I come home and I spend time at home, so I don't go onto my email and start checking work email.
Sure.
I don't start taking phone calls about work, or I don't answer your texts because you know, like that's not, yes. You know, like I do home and I do my wife, and you know, I give that 100% attention to her. When it's time to be with the kids, I spend 100% attention with them.
Yeah.
And what I generally find is that there's success in that.
Absolutely. It's just like, right, so you've been juggling, you put down the Skittles.
Yeah.
You pick one up and you're with that one Skittle and you're focused on that.
Yeah.
So and it's again linked into what we were talking about in our last podcast about present fathers, is about doing things on purpose and being at home on purpose and making sure that you are present at home. We know that there are jobs, there are careers that do involve you working at home.
Yeah.
But I think even with those jobs, there needs to be a specified time at home while you're with the family or with the kids, or if you haven't got family or kids, you're just chilling. You know, you know, just doing that on purpose. So you're not juggling 24/7. There needs to be a downtime where you just put the Skittles down, pick one up, and say, right, I'm going to chill with you today, right now.
Right.
You know.
So, you know, like in terms of taking that analogy, so like we say, we prioritize our time, and how we're going to spend it. But then, you know, like we're really intentional about how we're doing it, and we don't juggle. Now you might be saying, well, okay, so I can do all that, but what are we meaning by being intentional then? Right? If you really value your career, that's fine, and you can be intentional about that. But if that's third or fourth in your priority list, if really you're saying that actually work isn't as important as my relationship, or hey, you know, you can prioritize singleness.
Yes, you can.
Singleness can be the top of your priority. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to have a wife or kids to move something like your relationships higher than your workplace. But ultimately, if you're going to do that, then you have to be intentional in the fact of you will need to make sacrifices in your work life for your relationships. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. If it's the other way around, then you're going to have to accept that there are going to have to be sacrifices in your relationships for your work life. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, like that is how it is, you know, and people might be saying that's all very well and good. What about providing for our families? Yeah, okay, definitely. We definitely got to provide for our families, but we are called first to be husbands, fathers, in relationship with people. You know, like we are naturally wired to do relationship with people. Yeah, yeah, that's right. And we go through different stages in our lives anyway. So I mean, if you are just left school or going through uni or whatever, you have different priorities, different things that you need to focus on. But like I said, singleness is a great thing, and if you're single, that is great. Focus on enjoying that time. But I think when you're talking about sacrifices, though, the word that comes to mind is the word no. So it's okay to say no sometimes. And I think a lot of us find it difficult to say no. Sometimes we feel pressured in not saying no because it shows that I can't handle what you're asking me to do. But saying no is really important. It's how you say no and the reason why you say no is important. I mean, you can just say no. Yeah, I'm not doing that because I don't want to. Or it can be no, not right now. I can't handle it right now. Yeah. Or no, that's not really for me. Or if you're looking at your priority list, say, well, to be honest, no. just no. And it's okay to say no. Yeah. We all want to please people. We all want to make people happy. We all want to be, a lot of us want to be helpful. Yeah. But
we got to kind of look at ourselves and look at our list again and think, what can I really do?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's a strength in being decisive, right?
Yeah.
And saying no sometimes is a strength. It's not a weakness.
Absolutely.
I'll give you a true life example of this because, we've both experienced this on some level recently, but I stepped out of a career.
Yeah.
Partly, not fully, but partly because of that, looking at the value system that I have, looking at my flow and recognizing that if I was going to carry on in that career, if I was going to really push on and be everything that I could be in that career, that definitely meant that I was going to have to sacrifice in terms of my marriage and my kids.
Right.
And that was an area I just wasn't willing to go.
That's good.
So, I have experience of this. And in that, what I decided to do was step out of a career, a very successful career, I think, and into something completely different. And I love my completely different. Like my world right now, I absolutely love it.
Great.
I love more of the balance I've got. I also love the fact that I've got a new challenge and something else that I really believe that I should be doing right now. But we find purpose in ultimately in loving on other people and serving other people and helping other people. Whether you're a business owner, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a taxi driver, no matter what it is that we're doing, we can all work back to serving a person. Yeah. And sometimes we can just get that little bit lost in that this career that I'm in is the only career, and if I step out of that career, I don't know what I am now. Like your value system says that if your career is not the most important thing then you are a father first, and that is who you are. You are a husband first, or you're living out your singleness first. That says who you are.
Yeah, I mean that's so good. I applaud you for that, because that's a huge sacrifice you've made. Because I know in your teaching career, you could have gone higher up the ladder if you wanted to, but you put your family first, you put your relationships first, and that speaks volumes. And you stuck to your value systems. And I think we can always be pressured into taking on things and saying yes to things, and it's not always good for us. It's not, but we're all different. Some people desire to climb the ladder. Some people desire to be amazing in business and whatever. Other people desire to just have a successful relationship or family or whatever your desires are. It's personal. Yeah. And as long as you've got that value system, that hierarchy written down, and you know where you're aiming for, you know what's important for you, then whatever you choose is going to be great for you, and it's going to help with the balance our lives. Yeah. Yeah.
Totally. Our whole desire in doing any of what we talk about in this podcast is about making men stronger and healthier. Yeah. That we believe that the stronger you are, the healthier you are. The healthier you are, the happier you are. Yeah, sure. The more successful you are. Mm-hmm. And this is just one kind of really kind of key and kind of like obvious sort of like tract into saying, if you can get the balance in the way that you desire it to be, you understand what to prioritize, what's valuable to you, and you live it like that, I guarantee that you'll feel that you have more of a grip and a strength on life. You will feel more successful. And that's what we want you to be. We want you to be the best that you can be.
Absolutely.
Simply as.
Yeah. So, and what I get from that, drop that list. Yeah. So I'm going to do it. Drop that list. And see what your values are, and recognize what they are, and share your time. Yeah. And put your time in to those things that are important to you, and understand the value of a no. Not right now. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, so that's great. That's great. So you can listen to us on Spotify, yes, on you can. iTunes, we're on Instagram, we're all over the place. So just search us out. And just tap into us, and we'd love to hear any views you've got about this podcast, other podcasts, or if you want to ask us anything, just drop us a direct message on Instagram, and we'll follow that up. But Rob, that was great.
Amazing, mate. So we love you guys, and we'll speak again soon.